Hello, and here to review the F3 set from Website Guys. This is the third all foil set they've printed. Just real quick, to start off, the texture of the cards is slightly different, I think. The fronts feel a little more matte, a little less smooth. They also did some different foiling in here, which is great. The Expeditions, which, all excited for the Shocklands, you'll be happy to know are great, but we'll go through and kind of do it card by card here. So first, we'll start with one of, unfortunately, the most disappointing here. So I can get my camera to... So if you see there, very grainy, and you see kind of the ghost of the text up in here. If you actually, you can see lightning bolt any target. The star there looks really good on the promo star. But yeah, it's pretty grainy. There's a lot of like dark coloring in the red. The text itself looks good. The art looks decent, and obviously the foiling is pretty decent. But yeah, a little too dark, and then the text box being all that. I mean, this is something that obviously if you wanted to play in like EDH, casual play, that kind of thing, be good, but a little bit off. And even from like here where my face is, about a foot away, I can kind of see that there's this weird grainy stuff around the text box. So unfortunately, Lightning Bolt, one of the most disappointing ones, but we will get a good foil bolt, I am sure. And it is still definitely usable, playable, but Cavern, it's a little dark. The foiling is good though, as far as like the image. There's no foiling here, but the foiling's very bright there, and you can kind of see that as I bend it. In the text box here, come on camera, the mana symbol is a little... My camera has a hard time with the foils here. It's a little dark. Let's see if it'll pick it up. Sorry about this. We'll get it. There you go. Little dark around the one. It's kind of hard to tell here, but you can see it looks good. From here in a sleeve, you're not going to be able to tell that. The bend is very good on these. I showed this with the F1. People will often do this as a bend test and look for creases. It still looks good. But yeah. Overall, okay, I'd say this one's playable. Little dark, like I said, and obviously it is hard to tell with any camera. Foils aren't ever going to show up great, but so just have to take my word for it. The Yogs will. We got the promo in the text box shows up pretty well. Now I'm not sure if the real one is 100% foil across the art, but this one is. So if the real one isn't, then that's something, a detail that needs to be fixed, but the mana symbols look good up here. The text is good. With the other ones, we had some of the text was too thin. Doesn't seem to be the issue. But there you go. Now you can see that DCI show up pretty good there. And the lighting. Man, lighting is really hard with foils. But overall, good. Like it. The backs of these are pretty standard. Here's a real one. So, a little pale compared to the real one, you can see, but the coloring's pretty good. It's just a little darker. This one, and so just to compare, as the light hits these, trying to compare the foil. Obviously, it's hard to get it perfect, but get an idea of it. Survival of the Fittest. This one again, the DCI promo thing does show up pretty good there. But it is pretty dark and a little grainy. Obviously, in the quality of the camera, it looks very grainy, but I'm trying to get it to zoom on it properly. It's a hard time. There we go, a little bit. See the edge is a little white. It didn't quite... I don't know if these weren't cut properly. If it might not be that every set has that, and it might just be the way that these were shipped slightly different. Usually they're shipped like in a box like this. Mine were not for this preview set, so it might have just been that they got scraped up, but it kind of looks like the cut wasn't perfect, and you see that little kind of white edge to it. They're a little thicker than the other proxies, the non-foil proxies, but it gives them more of a real feel, I think. I wish that you could video a foil really well, but obviously it's hard to do. Even like a scan won't show up great. But if you can see, there's like a smudge right here. Will that ever show up on the camera? It's like a line right here, and again, it might just be with mine that like the foiling got like scraped. Sorry, I think it showed up there for a second on the screen, so if you pause it just right, you might see it. But it's like right here, there's a little lack of foil right in there. Anyway, minor detail, and again, in a sleeve across the table, it's not going to be noticeable. Survival of the Fittest is pretty much only played in EDH anyway, so, you know, I would still definitely play it. Wheel of Fortune, another, I think, pretty much EDH only card. Might be some, okay, Dex likes it for his Legacy deck. So Dex, you'll be happy with this. The foiling is across the whole image, so again, I'm not 100% that the art is supposed to be 100% foil, but the DCI does look good. This foil behind the text. This text box looks good. There's no streak or anything in any of the foiling on this. The kerning looks good. The boldness looks good. We had boldness issues on the other foils, so yeah, it's a good card. I definitely play it, playable. Grim Monolith. This is one that they did so proper. There's no foil in the art or text box, just on this and the kind of frame. So if I do this, you will notice that it only gets really shiny on the frame. So the fact that we got this really specific, the star does look like to be the right size, and it has like the right foil shine to it. Shows up pretty bright there. There you go. Compared to the rest of the foil. Again, if you see this, you can see this show up in the camera. There's like an edge to it, and I don't know if that was the way it was cut. It doesn't look like a normal card. On this side, it seems fine, but on this side, there's like a rough white edge to it there. So, anyway, it's hard to see because I'm white, right? My tan is part of my arm. Nope, doesn't help. Okay, Wasteland similar. The foiling is only on the frame, and this symbol here looks good. The text box look good. The tap symbols look good. And again, I'm gonna have to take my word for it. It's really hard to see it all on the video, but I think this one turned out really good. The color just looks perfect in the art. I've seen, these are ones I've actually seen and held. The DCI, Wheel of Fortune, and Yogg's Will, I haven't seen the foil, or Survival. I haven't seen these in real life, but I've seen these ones, and they look good. The brown looks really good on the text box. You notice it's a little different for the artifact than for the land. So, those are good. Definitely GP playable. Recommend those. This little guy, unfortunately, and I don't think this is going to show up in the video, so you're just going to take my word for it. But, the green is grainy. Got like some grainy black dots in it. Kind of see it down here on the edge of the text box. Doesn't look super smooth. Looks a little grainy, a little pixely. Which is unfortunate. The text looks good, the art looks pretty good, but for whatever reason the green, like the foil green, you can see it has shading in it, right? Texture within the green. It did not pick that up perfectly in the printing. Which I'm assuming has something to do with the layering and the foil and the scanning of the foil to get the correct images and whatnot. It's, you know, it's a much more difficult process. But again, it does look foil. It has the right image, size, everything, scale. So if this is in a sleeve sitting like this on the table tapping, I'm not going to notice that it's a little grainy without picking it up and looking at it through the sleeves. So, but it looks good overall. Play it as you will. There's the kind of foil colors there. Now we get to the good guys. So we have Canopy, and then one of all the shocks. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Strip Mine and Ancient Tomb. These are gorgeous. I won't take the time to go through every single one because we've already been in this video for a while. I'll hold up the breeding pool. Someone was, I think Apple was requesting this. These are supposed to be full foil. They look good. The foiling looks good. Very similar to F1. Again, mine have a little weird thing on this, only on this edge. You see that like shine that shows up right there? I just think that was either the way they rubbed against each other or the way mine were cut. But everything looks good. The little details down here. I know there was one where the copyright symbol was messed up with the Arid Mesa, I think it was. None of that I could see. Oh, there we go. It actually zoomed on it properly for a minute there. They look really good. The other thing so in F1, the Expeditions look great, except the text is a little thin. And this, again, sorry for the quality of the video, but the text looks good. I wonder if I do this. What? There you go. Text looks good. Land, forest, island, right? And that's, I mean, across the board. I don't see any differences between them. I'll just pick another one at random for you. Come on, video. Oh well. There you go. Looks pretty good, right? Copyright symbol looks okay. It looks like the sea maybe touches the edge a little bit on that. But if you get it there, all the way zoomed in, you can see there is black. And again, that's a very small detail. The Arid Mesa was so noticeable because it was like filled in. So these look good. They're all very similar. I think they match as far as the darkness and the scaling of what the real ones are. I've held the real ones in my hand. These ones look good overall. So that's all the shocks. I'll go ahead and show these ones a little different. Strip mine. The mana symbol. Let's get it zoomed in here. See that? It's a little off-centered. That tap to add colorless mana isn't perfectly in the center of that circle. It's a little bit up and to the left. That's the only thing I could find on here. And again, you see on this edge, for whatever reason, mine have a little... But I don't think that's going to be all of them. I think mine just got cut a little weird. But the foiling looks good. Everything looks good. And again, that's a very small detail, that mana symbol. But something you should know. Horizon Canopy is great overall. Let's see if we can get it. It has kind of a similar issue in that, see that one in the draw card paying effect? It's a little bit to the left. And again, that might be in the real ones. I don't even know. I haven't held a real one in my hand, but you can barely tell that it's a little off-center. But the coloring looks great. It's the right darkness, the right like temperature of colors. It's not too pink or orange or yellow. You get a lot of orange and yellow ones. The foiling and coloring looks great on these. I would definitely play any of them. And again, if you want, if you're getting these for an EDH deck, pimp it out. You save yourself a couple $1,000s buying these, right? These ones, I'm going to double check. The mana symbol looks fine on the Ancient Tomb. So if you were excited to play some Ancient Tombs in Legacy, I think you're in luck. Because... Come on. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. There you go. Those ones are not off-center like the strip mine. I'm apologizing that I can't hold this perfectly still, but should be able to see it long enough there. Coloring looks good. The Ancient Tombs the art is pretty dark on them in real life, so I think that these captured that well, with the foiling being very bright, vibrant and bright. And like I said, these will pass a bend test very well. They feel like real foils. I got a real foil here, a recent foil. If you look at the way the light hits them, the foiling looks almost identical. The backs are very close, very close. That is all of them, right? Yes, I covered all of them. So overall, I think it's a great set. The Expeditions are top-notch. If you want Shocklands for Modern, you are in luck. Slightly off a little bit. The Horizon Canopy I would still call, Grand Kitchen playable. Wouldn't be worried about that. Strip Mine, again, this is only played in EDH. It's banned in every other format, or I guess maybe Vintage. Don't think anyone's going to notice that. They'd have to literally pick it up and be inspecting it. Whatever you do, do not buy these and sell them as real. We don't support that. Those type of people are not welcome. You should not be trying to get these for $7 and charging someone $200. The bolts, like I said, a little grainy, got a little black in the text box. A little disappointing there, a little grainy on the Hierarch, but these, which I think is the reason we're all buying this set anyway, is for these Shocklands, all gorgeous, 100%. I play them all. That's the real card. We don't need that. The Cavern looks good. Wasteland is excellent. The Wheel looks good. Grim Monolith is good. Ancient Tomb is excellent. Throw that in with those. Yogg's Will, I haven't held the real one, but I think it's right. It might be a little dark, but everything, I mean, the symboling, all the text all looks on. So overall, highly recommend it. They are definitely worth the buy. And good luck.